Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started on this exciting mission, just a quick disclaimer from me. I recently acquired one of these wind blocks for the GoPro. You can see how this works. Now it actually did a great job of stopping the wind on the mission. So good a job in fact that it also muffled my audio commentary while I was doing it. So it made it quite hard for you to hear anything. That means that I've had to really amp up the sound on my editing program, so you get a lot of crackle and a lot of sound distortion. I hope it doesn't spoil the experience, but I hope you enjoy it anyway.
Good morning, and it's the 8th of March. We're on a lay-by just off the A40, just on the verge of the Brecon Beacons National Park. We're here just as a training mission because in about 4 weeks' time I'm heading up to Scotland with another YouTuber to attempt a third mission across Scotland. Now, today we're going to attempt around 12 miles of straight line missioning across the Brecon Beacons. Just in one day, hoping to complete this challenge without too much trouble, I hope. This is Steve. You met Steve already. He helped out on the previous Wales mission. This time he's joining me on the mission itself rather than as a support guy. I'm hoping to complete it. Steve, how you been?
Alright.
Excellent. Okay. Well, on that very exciting note, we'll see you at the top of hill we're about to climb.
We'll be ascending this pretty steep slope. A nice little warm up for us at this early time in the morning. It's about 7:15 roughly. So see you guys up there. First obstacle of the trip. We've gone about 50 yards and we've been arrested by this stream. We're just deciding how to cross it. Either we use our rubble sack technique that I pioneered a couple of missions ago, or we just cross on that kind of pile of logs there. Steve's attempting to climb the tree, not sure why. Okay, he's got it across.
Marcus is descending down to the tree, hopefully to do a successful crossing. Foot there. Can you get your foot out to that? A bit further. And then just like kind of jump to where I am.
Alright, ready?
Do you want a hand?
Maybe.
Thanks.
Hey, well done. Thank you.
Right.
Oh.
We're cross and dry.
I think I was recording. I managed to cross the river using this fallen tree, or well, slightly leaning tree, and then onto these rocks just about, and then Steve's going to show us the way up this hill. First little slope, and you can see the big farm overlooking the road. That's where we've come from, more or less. Steve, how's it going?
Steep.
Yeah, certainly is.
We're not getting outside.
Yeah, so you've recently had a kid, haven't you, Steve? Yeah.
She's 1 and a bit now. At that stage where she's walking and stacking it on a daily basis.
Much like us, really.
Very much.
Yeah. Steve is attempting to cross through this hedgerow, blasting his way through there, and then over the barbed wire fence at the end. It's a group of angry sheep. Quick! After that initial tough climb, we're now on a bit of flat land finally. Well, slight incline, and over towards those woods. Hopefully then start making a bit of progress on this mission.
discovered the fate of the last straight line missioner.
I think we've found the culprits as well.
Got mauled to death.
Yeah, very dangerous creatures. This is the straight line missioner's dream. There we are, bang on line. Very slightly downhill. No obvious obstacles, barring the vicious, fluffy creatures on the left. And yeah, that's what we like. And just beyond Steve there is the Usk Reservoir, I believe. Yes, several rivers leading into it, some of which Steve has just been naming to us, so tell us about some of these.
The River Usk that comes out, so we will cross that via a bridge, because I crossed it previously, it's cold, but that means we have to cross another river, the River Hyder instead, and we've not scoped it, so who knows.
Steve says we're 2k in, and we're still online. Got a sudden downhill bit here, and then yeah, probably through this farmyard as well, through that field, most likely. Steve is heading through this hedgerow. Quite a difficult one, but there's plenty of space in it. There's a barbed wire fence at the end. So Steve has planned a line that very fortunately goes over that nice bridge instead of going through the river. The downside is, of course, we've got to try and get through this mess of brambles. Steve reckons there's some kind of drop coming up here. This could be problematic if we can't get within jumping distance of it. It's a little bit steep. Let's see what we can do. I'm very glad we had to go across that river, to be quite honest. But that was a real struggle, got to tell you. Real struggle.
Lots of bramble and blackthorn, spiky. And now we go up there somewhere.
Or Steve's going to do a, what's the word?
Is it parkour in this?
Parkour? Yeah, it's like a speed run. Speed run.
Speed run.
That's what I was thinking.
There's barbed wire in here.
I think you've gone over it. This is within it. Oh, that was-
There it is.
oh no, it's been snagged. Oh, Steve, great effort there.
Done.
Excellent work there.
Marcus is just making his way through the hedgerow. There is a bit of barbed wire on that other one, but it's fallen down, so it's a little bit lower, so it's a bit easier, but hedge is quite dense. Wow. Lots of branches, not particularly dense though. Easy enough.
Yeah.
I think it's the most dense one so far, so
Ow. Oh no. Struck in the eye. Ow.
wounded.
Yeah, wounded.
So this is where being a bit taller is probably a disadvantage.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my bag off, I think. This is where you need the ski goggles. This is it's quite painful, being held back by various things.
Just get down low, get underneath them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is difficult. Okay, just about got there. Thank you, Steve.
Cool.
Ah, that seemed alright. Nice and simple. Well, we're approaching the crest of a hill, and as you can see, coming to a downhill bit once again, but up ahead of us, of course, the Forest of Doom. I think, what was it you called it, Steve?
Forest of Hell.
Forest of, that's it, Forest of Hell. Even worse, on the horizon there. An uphill stretch of woodland lasting about a mile. So, got
Ancient woodland with thick layers of moss. It's beautiful, but straight line missioner's nightmare. It's also the tallest hill, and quite a long climb over a long distance.
Well, look, we've got some spectators, and many of them as well. We've just come across this little stream. We've got a pretty little waterfall there. Pretty cute. Probably covered about 2.5 miles now, roughly, and we've had a nice variety of different terrains coming up. You can see
is that wood of hell, or whatever, it's forest of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But first we've got to go through this, by the looks of it, just the edge of the farmyard, and then a couple of hedgerows, and then we'll be in. Yeah, we'll cross the river, of course. Yeah. Yes, we've got a little river to cross, but hopefully that won't cause us too much trouble. We shall see. Another nasty hedgerow to navigate. You found a weak point there, you think?
Yeah, but my jacket was undone and I was getting spiked internally.
Okay.
Which was not nice.
Your liver's been impaled on these things. Oh yeah, careful. Yeah, nice one.
That bit's not too bad. It's this bit, it's deceptive to get on the camera. Can I zoom out? I am zoomed out. There's not really any footholds there, and that's quite steep. So it's a long way down, and there's barbed wire as well, which is not fun.
Probably not the best way of doing it, if I'm quite honest. But
You are going to catch. Hang on, if I bring this barbed wire above you, so if you bring your foot, is that, you able to get underneath that?
possibly. I've got a bit of snag at the moment. Oh bloody hell.
Right, this is a drama and a half.
I've got the wrong way up, hang on. I've gone head over heels. No, made a right mess of this. I'm going to try it a different way.
Roll over, maybe?
I'm just going to approach it as if it's a new barbed wire fence. There we go. Ow. Ow.
Right.
Trying to snag myself from the barbed
So
wire.
you can see that's really steep down there for the foothold. Try not to barbed wire you.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
And away.
Easy.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
So this is our latest obstacle. We've got a stream to deal with. Not particularly big, but still worthy of consideration. We've got to be quite careful. We're debating whether to use rubble sacks to cover our feet or whether we can just skip across.
I'm tempted to grab a few boulders and make some stepping stones.
It's a good idea actually. But where though, that's the question. Maybe there?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I can make a there, but maybe figure it out.
So we tried throwing a couple of rocks into the river.
I think if we throw a few more, we might make it.
Yeah, I think rubble sacks is going to be quicker, in my opinion.
Right, Marcus is going to try the rubble sacks.
Yes, this is a technique pioneered by Will Haig and myself in Scotland too. So we're going to try and use it here. Let's see how it works. Hopefully well.
Don't stack it. Success. Are you dry? Sorry? Feet are wet. Failure. Right, I am going to try my bridge.
Steve is going to cross on the path that he's created for himself. Nice one. Very, very good.
Dry feet.
Ah, you win. As you can see, the riverbank is quite steep, and Steve's just managed to get up there. His leg is suffering a bit, he says.
So, got another hedgerow. Gonna let Marcus go first this time. I don't know how to give this justice, but this is a really steep hill. So far we've only came through hedges and dropped down a steep hill. Now we've got to go up the steep hill through the hedgerow. And how's it going? Don't do your back. That failed miserably.
Nice, that worked.
Cool. We'll have to time lapse this at this rate. Success.
To be mobilised.
I think Marcus in Wales 1 would have run a mile at this, I think. That is the biggest herd of sheep I have ever seen. Probably.
What you need to do is get one of those tucking hats and catch one.
Yeah, a harpoon or something. Wonder if any of these sheep are electric.
Apparently, if you shout mint sauce, they'll run a mile.
Well, I think that's worked.
So I think they're going for the flank.
Uh-oh. Get out of here. I want to get charged. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm officially surrounded. We've escaped just in time.
Marcus struggling through yet another hedgerow.
Becoming a regular occurrence, unfortunately.
There's not that many hedgerows left, to be fair. So Marcus is about to launch his bag. Ooh. It's a little bit of a drop down, a bit spiky. I think we're going that way, aren't we? So to the side of that.
We're slightly to the right of the line, so.
Yeah.
So we've officially finished the farmland section. You can see on the GPS there that we're crossing into a large section of woodland. At the moment it looks pretty doable, but as ever, I think there will be difficult bits within it. We've got about a mile of this, and then once we're through that, then we'll be up onto the sort of higher bits, onto the moors, and then maybe we can make a bit of progress there. So it's been okay so far, covered about 3 miles, and yeah, still going strong. A bit weary, but we're going to fuel ourselves up at some point to attempt this nasty mile of woodland. So you can see these little bits of water, stricken water. Just be very careful where I put my feet. But I'm actually happy with this because you can walk freely without having to duck. I think I might take this. Just waiting to get into that tougher stuff, about 100 yards or so. Kind of at the junction of 3 roads actually. It's quite nice, to be honest. How have you found it so far, Steve, in general? Are you coping?
It's alright. Bit ankle breaky over there.
Yeah. I'd probably take that stuff maybe rather than the upcoming woodland though. But yeah, well, we've covered a fair bit anyway, so not too bad. Unfortunately this path kind of goes perpendicular to the one that the direction we're going, otherwise we'd be following it pretty closely. We're entering some spongy areas now, and we're starting to have to fight through the trees, which is getting a bit more unpleasant, to be quite honest. Yeah, I've got quite a long way to go on this. Yeah, I always find these things really cool. Caves, aren't they? I wonder how long ago that tree fell. Be some time ago, you'd imagine. Steve fights his way through. Right, that's the first bit done. A little bit more to go, probably another 2/3 to go, I'd imagine.
So this is tracks 2 of 6 before we break out at the top.
Hopefully, assuming we do.
is beautiful.
Just going to ride this tree casually. That's a high leg. Higher than I wanted to dismount.
Having trouble getting your leg over?
Yeah, so we're about halfway through this really nasty mile of woodland.
It's hard work.
Just fighting constantly to get through it, and that slows our progress.
Seal fall.
Yeah, when there's a mess of this magnitude, it can be very slow progress. What you want really is all the trees to be upright at least, then you can fight your way through that and trip over stuff. We've got a couple more sections of this. Doing okay.
1 minute tree feels quite closer than it is. Like, it's a really weird sensation. It's only when we get into these really ancient, really mossy, moist areas, there's just this bounce. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it's yes, it's kind of a bit eerie in some ways, isn't it? Maybe? Probably no one has ever trampled through here. It's definitely becoming much tougher now to thread a way through these trees. It's so tightly packed that viewers had, especially in the Kilda forest, trying to get through stuff like this constantly. Nearly impossible. I think I'd even ski goggles. Oh, you're bang on line, I think.
Marcus is making his way underneath a log, making it look difficult.
Severe difficulty here.
The thing is, I'm just going to go through that bit there and go around. Can't be bothered crawling. Can't be more than a metre deviation to just go for that gap.
We're keeping a pretty close eye on the line, as you can see. So yeah, should be okay, and we should be out there pretty soon. We're nearly out, getting close.
That's the disadvantage of curly hairs, getting a whole tree stuck in it as you.
You've done it. Oh.
We made it.
Now we have a new challenge ahead of us. We've got some moors.
So having come out of that whole mess of trees, we had a bit to eat. So some nuts, some cereal bars, some squashies, which I must show you. This is my new favourite food. This is like nectar of the gods to me. This is really nice. And unfortunately I've avoided the sandwich because I have a superstition about sandwiches and I don't eat them. I take them apart.
What have you been eating for lunch?
I had a bacon and ketchup sandwich from Tesco. It was terrible. Some cereal bars. That's not left.
Fantastic. And do you feel re-nourished?
Not particularly.
Okay, that bodes well then for the next few miles.
I turned around for like 2 seconds and Marcus is on the floor. He's having a nap. He's giving up. You alright? What are we going to do with him?
Back out onto the moorland now.
Steve's slightly tiring though, as you can see. Looks like there's someone being airlifted out there, or something being airlifted out by a helicopter. Not sure what's going on really. Looks like GeoWizard has been upgrading his mission support there, I think. Maybe they're just dropping off a corpse or something.
Maybe.
next one. It's that time in the mission. I've got a wet foot. Some other people. Unbelievable. But as you guys can see on the GPS, we're approaching the Midway checkpoint, which is good news. Very good news. These guys are off my line, I'm afraid, so I can't quite go and talk to them. And there's Steve. So I've just realised, seeing as we've passed the halfway checkpoint, we're now in the second half of this day mission. And obviously it's a bit smaller than the average mission, but it's the first time I've got beyond halfway, which is a good sign. And it's not something I've ever had to say before, so now I'm sort of effectively counting down rather than counting up. Probably got another 6 miles to go. The issue now is time. We've got a few hours to go until sunset. Can we make it?
So Marcus is about to climb up this peat mountain. Hopefully without stacking it. Nearly went. A lot harder than it looks.
Oh, more people. Right guys, so as you can see on the GPS, it's sending us directly up this. Now, I was just saying to Steve, maybe we've just chosen the best bit here, because the bit down there is much steeper. Likewise, I'd say that bit is worse. So maybe we've got a chance. What do you think, Steve? You planned it?
Part of me wants to be able to get out there, but part of me doesn't.
The left leg does, the right leg doesn't.
Yes.
So we got a horse.
We're going to get to... He knows, I've forgotten. We're going in a straight line, basically. Yeah, sort of that direction. Yeah, yeah. Opposite direction. Yeah, you too. Right guys, now we are getting towards maybe about 4 miles to go, but you can see that we're going to be having to cross up. We're going to have to ascend this pretty nasty looking hill, okay? It's going to take us some time.
But first we got to go down there.
Yeah. And it's getting windy, it's starting to rain a bit, and weather's closing in slightly. We've got to try and get up there as soon as we can. Yeah, these ponies are dead on our line. It's not so much the gradient that's the issue at the moment, it's more like the slope, to be honest. Just trying to hang on. One of my feet is really suffering. But it's just difficult to stay upright here and stay on line, more importantly, which we are doing. It's very easy to fall off the line here because it's just constantly having to manoeuvre up the hill, whereas the temptation is just to go onto flat ground. But we just have to keep climbing and climbing, but not straight up, but also not sideways. It's kind of just diagonal. So that kind of makes it pretty difficult, to be honest. Getting there, getting very close to probably about 4 miles to go now. So probably about 3 hours of daylight to go, so a bit touch and go currently. It's been an extremely difficult climb. We've almost made it to the top. Steve as well has almost got there. Woohoo, we made it!
Yeah, that's hard. I
don't even know how to describe that gradient. That's hard work. Yeah, it was sort of hands and knees kind of stuff really, yeah, just scrambling up. But we made it, so it's the home stretch now potentially. Guys, bad news. We were chatting and celebrating having got up that hill and we wanted well off the line, which is really gutting because I think we might have been on for platinum. Got to walk all the way back onto the line again. Oh no. We're still on for gold, but that's really gutting. Ah, we're idiots. Probably about halfway up that hill is maybe the 3 mile mark, something like that. So you can see how far we've got to go. Nice little waterfall over there. These tufts that you can see on the camera, really tricky. You've got to be so careful where to put your feet. It's very boggy here as well. We're almost down the bottom of the valley. Once we get to there, we'll be around 3¼ miles away from the finish. Getting closer by every step. Can we do it? Steve's crossing the river.
So Marcus is making his way down a rather steep hill to the river. He's not doing a very graceful descent. I cheated, I came down this little grassy slope here. It was a lot smoother ride, but he's nearly there. He's nearly there. And now he has to cross the river. Wasn't too bad, but it's quite late in the day. We're a bit tired. So mistakes happen, but hopefully no mistakes, because still a bit of a walk to the car. Let's see how he does with the river crossing. I came across on the stepping stones. So I stood in the puddle on the big flat one. It has to be in the puddle. I nearly lost it, but and then you'd be alright. Come across to the orangey ones. I went down onto my hands and crabbed over, so I had my hands actually on it for balance because it is slippery. And then you probably want to put your right foot where your left foot is.
I might do rubber sacks. I made a right mess of that, that's for sure. I think Steve might have had a better technique there. But it's coming up 4:45 in the evening. We've got just under 3 miles, maybe about 2 3/4 miles still to go. It's beautifully still out here actually. Like about an hour or two ago it was pretty windy, but now it feels very peaceful. The finish we think will be roughly in line with those windmills, maybe a tiny bit further. I've been enjoying this little escapade across the Brecon Beacons. Steve, what's your sort of favourite outdoor national park or area that you like the most?
Difficult, really. So I think Brecon is probably the fastest way location for me. I lived all Lake District for 3 months, so that was playing out for a while. Yeah, I like all of them really. They're all different, they're all unique, slightly different landscapes, some challenges. It's good fun.
Yeah, me too. Good to get outside, guys. Even if you just do a little bit, you know, if you're not that fit, for example, then just go out, just a little walk. It clears your mind, clears your lungs, and makes you feel good about it. So give it a go. King of the castle, king of the castle. Still a decent pace. Getting there slowly. Some structure. living room just there. Steve says this is a cave shaft, disused presumably. Don't want to fall down there, to be quite honest. Go on Steve, you can do it.
There we go.
Nice one. 2 miles to go now, the light's closing in, but we're almost there, just pushing right to the end. Be careful when I put my feet here. Crevasses down there. So we're at the border of something at some point in history. Trying to work out what this could have been. Some landmark here, goes all the way up there. Nice little barbed wire fence to remind us of the earlier part of the day. And then about 1.5 miles that way and we'll be at the finish. Can we do it? Yes, we maybe can. The sun is setting on our day. We've got to deal with some of these grassy knoblets again. Particularly difficult for Steve with his knee at the moment, causing him a lot of trouble. So we're taking it pretty easy. And hopefully then, once we get out of this little difficult section, as I nearly stack it, we'll be getting within 1 mile. Once that green area kicks in, we'll be very much on the home stretch. What a trooper Steve is. He's had a real issue with his knee today because he dislocated it a couple of years ago and he's still going, battling through the pain. Our field of play is bathed in a nice twilight. Scuttle over this conveniently fallen piece of wall and the barbed wire fence. Beautiful red sunset now. Amazing. Shepherd's delight. Doopy doopy doo, doopy doopy doo, doopy doopy doo. Horse. We go down there, over the next ridge maybe. There's like a sort of forest in the distance there, I think. That's roughly where the finish is, I think. Now I've parked my car basically at the finish, so straight back to our hotel from there if we can get there. Even the GPS is telling us it's getting pretty dark. It's gone to dark mode, but got to get there by hook or by crook now. It's going to take a bit of time. Oh, that boulder field took ages. It's not what you need at this time of the evening. Oh, plus I'm out of it, unharmed. Still getting there, very slowly, but surely not more than 1 mile now, maybe less than that now. There's the silhouette of Steve. Starting to feel it in my legs now, I've got to be honest. This is probably the furthest I've come on a day of missioning, so yeah, just trying to coax myself through to the finish now. Not make any mistakes in this very dim light. Oh, bloody hell. No way. We're literally under 1 kilometre to the finish. I don't believe this. How did you manage that, Steve? I'm going to check out to see what's doable. I'm not a particularly good climber, to be honest. Can't believe we've had this like 2/3 of a mile from the end. And in the dark as well. About 6 foot. This probably is doable.
Then mantle it and get your leg up and over.
I can't believe it. Yes. Done it. Oh, I thought it was going to foil me just at the last moment.
Still a bit of a drop down, but
We're about 650 metres. The lights in the distance are our finish point. We're so close now, it's pitch black. We're just scrambling down this bank, desperately trying to get to the end. We're so close now, it's just so difficult. We have to use torch lights on our phone to navigate down the final stretch. Probably about half a kilometre now. Looks like we're about to enter the final field.
Central screen, that's the finish line.
Not long now.
The next field boundary is potentially a private car. And then it's a tractor car.
Brilliant. 200 metres to go. It's now 8 o'clock in the evening. You can see on the GPS the word finish is creeping into sight. Got about 10 metres to go. Almost at the road. Is it going to beep? Oh, hang on. Pause. Arriving at finish! Woohoo! We've done it.
Success.
Oh, amazing. I've done it. It's only the trial mission for Scotland next month. But 11.5 miles in a straight line. And it's done. I can't believe it. And there's my car.
Car is right there.
Literally right there.
Thank God.
Now, those of you who have watched my missions previously will have been left disappointed by the lack of major disaster. However, not to worry. When we arrived at my esteemed vehicle, I realised I'd left my car keys at the hotel about a dozen miles away. I think it's fair to say the local taxi companies enjoyed their fair share of calls that evening. I like to support the local economy, so no skin off my nose.
Well done, Steve, because he's motored down that really treacherous valley at the end and on a dodgy knee. So a big well done to Steve as well. It's yeah, you did really well. So
You might also be wondering how closely we managed to keep to our straight line route. Well, the answer was very close indeed. We were almost on for a platinum run, except one deviation of 44.41 metres. A bit gutting, but we managed a gold run, which is nothing to be ashamed of.
anyway, guys, that concludes the straight line warm-up mission across the Brecon Beacons, which we done successfully. And I'll see you in Scotland.
Well, how about that, guys? A successful mission. Okay, it's only a day mission and a warm-up, but in a few days' time, I am off to Scotland for my third attempt at crossing it in a straight line. I really hope this is the one. If not, might just pack it in anyway. So that'll hopefully be coming out in June or so. We'll see. It's going to be really exciting. And stay tuned for the series when it eventually does come out. In the meantime, all the best.